Hello, this is Natalie with the Real Estate Investment Nomad podcast. Today we're going all the way to Africa. We're going talking about South Africa today. We're with the country leader, Andrew Thompson. And we're going to chat about, what's life in the other side of the world, Thanks for being with us today.
Absolute pleasure. Yeah, great pleasure chatting to you and very excited about the future. I think we launched EXPCon Cape Town yesterday. Yeah, so excited about that because we're looking forward to seeing you. I think it's your first trip to Africa. And I certainly believe a great safari to South Africa, Cape Town in particular, February 2026. It's a good call.
I'm super excited about that because, yesterday we were starting the conference and a lot of drones came into the room. I wasn't expecting that, but it was a great surprise, especially because Africa, for some people it's so far away or so, mystic, and they only know about safaris, but there's a whole life in each and every single city in there. So would you share a little bit more about you? And then also we're going to go over the markets and the process of buying there. So let's start with you.
Yeah, so I actually come from a hospitality background, so I'm a hotelier by trade. I got into the development game, really helped with training and coaching real estate agents from all different companies. And then I decided to start a small Keller Williams franchise
Okay.
and initiated that. Was with Keller Williams for around about 15 months. And I was so pleased that EXP arrived in South Africa. And I was approached and obviously took on the job of country leader for EXP Realty South Africa. Started that 4.5 years ago, started with 0 agents in South Africa, 1,300 plus agents at the present moment, fastest growing real estate company in Africa. And, we've come down from the 6,000th largest real estate company in South Africa to number 3 locally in terms of agent count. And the really nice story is, we listing, we in production, we into profit. And it's been an extremely successful story for South Africa in particular. And the nice thing about it is we're attracting really good, influential people, good producing agents, and those agents are now attracting other good agents into our organization. So I often talk to Glenn Sanford, Felix Bravo, the team, just about being the biggest and the best. But most certainly, we do want to be the largest by listings, production, and by profit in Africa. And I think what is very important is we want to keep that philosophy of being agent-centric, agent-focused. And looking after your people, our leadership team thus really looking after our agent team. And that's why I just absolutely love this business. It's been an exciting journey. And, I think the outlook for us as a company, 100 countries, 10 years, and 1 million real estate agents like you, I want to be on that journey as well. And it's a great journey to be a part of.
That's amazing. And for those who are never been in South Africa and are curious to know how the real estate is there, what are some of the main cities that people flock to, let's say?
Yeah, so 64 million people in South Africa. And, Johannesburg is the capital. There's a dual capital in the form of Cape Town. Durban, largest harbor in Africa and by volume. And, so Johannesburg, Cape Town, Durban, good places from a city experience point of view. But I think there's an opportunity for everybody in South Africa. You've got outlying areas, you've got farmlands, you've got opportunities in terms of commercial, retail, light industrial. And what generally happens is people tour South Africa. I did mention EXPCon Cape Town earlier, one of the 5 most beautiful cities in the world. And I really believe, people that come into that environment, attend those sort of conferences, have a really good experience, end up investing in South Africa, where they can maybe spend their winter in South Africa during our summer months and vice versa, go back to Germany, UK, Canada, USA, and enjoy those good months in their very own countries. Prospects across South Africa, we are a licensed country in terms of real estate. And I think you got very professional people assisting you in terms of your overall experience. But if you can identify a property that you want in South Africa, we can certainly assist you in that regard.
What will be the process of buying, like the steps to follow for a transaction? If I'm curious to buy, can anybody buy there from any nationality or are there restrictions?
No, any nationality can buy in South Africa. Normally there's a 50% deposit called upfront.
Okay.
You can bond the other 50%. I would certainly believe that you want to go to a reputable real estate company to identify an agent that you want to work with, identify the stock or the area that you want to procure and buy, and then go through the processes of sale with that agent. Obviously, an offer to purchase is established through the real estate agent, and with that comes the deposit, the bond approvals. It normally takes anything from around about 3 weeks to about 2 months in terms of the transfer of a property, gets to lodge status, and then into registration, and you own the property.
3 months, okay. And you say 50% down payment is the
Normally a
normal.
50% down payment, and then the balance can be bonded if you go through the appropriate processes.
How does it work financing? You call it bonding in South Africa. Can anybody apply for that? Do you have to live there, work there, or can the income from different countries?
I would imagine at this stage you'd have to gain some sort of residency in terms of being recognized as a owner of a property in our country. And then through that process, I would imagine at this stage you'd have the ability to acquire a property. It's quite an easy process, and our real estate professionals will be able to assist and guide you in that regard.
So you have to become a resident. How easy or
You won't
complicated?
have to become a resident, but obviously that assists in terms of the process if you were to become a resident.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and then is easier to move there? Like if I decide to, I don't know if you have many digital nomads there, but if they decide to be like, okay, I want to move to South Africa permanently, what will be the process of like becoming, or is there any limitations? You have to be there only for 30 days, like year of 90 days?
I can't really talk about that. The agents normally know that process in detail. I think you very much realize the agent is my client at the end of the day, and the agent that is out there negotiating with the seller, the buyer, the landlord, the tenant, is really the agent experience that is on offer in South Africa. So,
Really?
I'd really reach out to a real estate professional in South Africa, get the real story behind how you can acquire property locally. And I would say it's a very easy process once you've shown interest in that particular property.
And how's the property search? Do you guys have an MLS or non-MLS or as any sort of system that helps? Because some other countries we don't have it.
We don't have MLS from a national footprint point of view, but we do syndicate to companies like Private Property MP24 for lead generation for our very own agent team. I think what is very important is we differ to America, how America operates with sides, as an example. So we don't have a selling agent and a buying agent. One agent can do the entire deal if necessary. And our agents that secure the stock own the market effectively. And what you want is obviously referrals coming in from other agents, attracting buyers in. And then it's a negotiated deal on the buyer experience through the agent. So it could be as much as 10%, 20%, 50% of the transaction, depending on the referral that takes place.
Okay.
And that's normally negotiated agent to agent.
Right.
And our preference is obviously to keep it in-house. And as you know, we're a family, we're a community of real estate professionals. And what I love about EXP is the collaboration between agents. And what we're finding from a South African point of view, we got Italians looking at buying in South Africa. We got Portuguese people looking at buying, Germans coming through, doing the tours, going on safari, and then deciding to approach a real estate professional. And obviously, I would highly recommend EXP Realty South Africa.
Amazing. No, that's great information. What would be the cities by lifestyle? Because South Africa, maybe people think is maybe big city or beach town. You mentioned there's a port. What would be like the lifestyle and people? What will they buy there, or is it because it's close to like we're talking with large financial district where everything goes that way, or beach town if there is any?
So what we find is there are different needs for different clients coming into South Africa. So Johannesburg is the financial hub of South Africa. So, people that are getting into commercial and offices and a work environment, Johannesburg could be the place to go to. And it's really been recognized probably as the financial hub for Africa in terms of doing business in Africa. What's also important is Durban. Durban is a coastal town or city. It's, I think, the third largest city in South Africa. Large port, has the ability to really attract people that want really good weather.
Okay.
So it's a warm climate, tropical climate, beautiful ocean, and an environment where you can access game lodges, bush, mountains, all from one central city. And all of that's within 2 hours of Durban itself. Cape Town, like I said earlier, one of the most beautiful cities in the world. Table Mountain, Robben Island, lifestyle that you just cannot believe. Good weather in the summer months, a little bit cold in winter, but most certainly, I think from an international perspective, most of the internationals looking at buying in South Africa look towards Cape Town and then look at the coastal towns, the smaller towns, the villages, going down the garden route in that particular area.
Interesting. I don't know what's cold in Africa. Okay, but that's great information. So I can, people can picture themselves based on what their lifestyle or what the preference of the profession is. They can select different cities.
Sure.
How does it work with the taxes for property taxes? Like for a transaction from the sales tax to the every year tax. How does it work in the country? It varies probably by municipality, location, city, but is it an average of how much it costs you to keep a property there, tax wise?
It varies per city, per town. There's rates and taxes that you pay to the local authority. Obviously, any income that's derived from that property over an annual period, you've got to pay tax on that property. That varies per individual, and I'd certainly take tax advice from a tax advisor if you are buying into South Africa. Once again, I don't deal with that on a day-to-day basis, and I really rely on our agent team to pass on that sort of information to our people.
Awesome. And for the risks versus benefits of living there, what are some of the benefits and some of the risks too, besides dealing with a good agent that, at least for example, in Mexico, we have to be super mindful of it before we recommend anything to our clients. We vet the title, make sure that it's clean and all that. That usually in the US is done by the title company, but in this case, we have to do before we offer the inventory. Is there any sort of risks in South Africa as well on those things, or is more regulated, things are accounted for?
I think it's very well regulated. We got a deeds office, so the title deed is registered in the deeds office. I don't believe there's risk involved in that regard. So you're buying a property, you'll receive a title deed, you recognize the title deed, and the transfer takes place from one owner to another owner. And I think that's very important. I think the risks that are involved, you've got to really identify the area that you want to buy into. And I think very importantly, you want to have a good street address. You want to be in the right space. Okay. And you've got to look at the external risks around that property that might exist. Okay. So most certainly, I would take advice from a really good real estate agent, understanding the area, first of all, understanding the infrastructure within that particular space, and what the future holds in terms of infrastructure rollout, the promise of future infrastructure. So be it hospitals, schools, retail facilities, whatever it might be, I would go to the property expert within that area.
Awesome. Well, this is great information. I want to reach out to you, follow your agents as well to understand each area and, what do you get for what, and opportunity zones too when they're opening new airports or new roads too, like expressways. So with that, thank you so much for the information. How can people find you online? So in case they're curious about South Africa, and especially for the event coming up.
I would most certainly go to expsouthafrica.co.za. That's the first point of call. If you're a real estate agent in the business anywhere around the world, just remember we got EXPCon taking place down in Cape Town, 17th to the 20th of February, 2026. And whilst we got pre-tours, post-tours, a great conference taking place on the 18th and 19th of February, I would highly recommend coming through to South Africa. Good value for money in terms of food, drinks, accommodation. The pre-tours, you said it earlier, not everything revolves around safari. You could come through and do the winelands. You could go to the mountains. You could go have an ocean experience. You could really go on safari in South Africa. And we would hope that people would come out with their families, with their children, and experience a really good holiday in South Africa, value for money, and just come live the food, the people, the culture, and experience what really good South African hospitality is all about.
I'm super excited. Thank you so much. And I can't wait to go to South Africa next year, 2026. Oh my God.
Yeah. 9 months away.
Oh, okay. So we still have some time. So yeah, reach out to Andrew for any questions about South Africa. I doing transactions, or if you're an agent, so they can guide you more into the process of this beautiful country.
Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you so
Very much
Bye.
appreciated.
Bye.
Thank you for joining us on the Real Estate Investment Nomad podcast. I hope today's episode has inspired you to explore new horizons in global real estate. Remember, the world is full of opportunities waiting to be discovered. And with the right insights, you can turn those opportunities into successful investments. If you enjoyed the show, please subscribe, rate, and leave a review. Your feedback helps us bring you the best content possible. Don't forget to follow us in social media for more resources and updates. Until next time, my friends, this is nathalysalas, encouraging you to think big, invest globally, and transform your real estate journey. Safe travels and happy investing.